I've always had an interest in photography and all that. I feel like photography can take people somewhere that they don't have a chance to. The stuff I grew up around, you don't really get a chance to explore other stuff. When my mom and dad got a divorce, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I came back out here when I was 5, 6. I didn't really know what nothing was too much. Like, I'm so used to trees, animals, and running, so I didn't really know what guns and marijuana and cocaine. I didn't know what all that was till I got introduced to it, you know. I'm not gonna say it's too hard growing up in Compton, but it's a real difficult, it's a bumpy ride. Stuff you gotta to go through, like, you gotta think about, or if you go to practice at 8 at night, are you gonna find a way home? Or are you gonna be safe and be able to make it home walking this late at night? And I was shot at by the police. I'm blessed to be here today. You know, are you gonna be shot, robbed, killed? That's what it come down to. I seen somebody get shot in the head. I was like 8. My mom don't even know this. Somebody got shot in the back of the head with a shotgun, and they threw him over the rail, and he was just sitting there bleeding, blood all down the little sewer line. It was a horrifying sight, you know. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, you know. If that person see you, they gonna try to kill you, hunt you down. I never talk to anyone. That's what I was taught. Never talk. Keep your mouth shut. It's a blessing to make it out of Compton, really. Compton is like quicksand. It's just like, if you make it out of quicksand, you made it. You ain't gonna die. Education in Compton was really hard. The substitutes and teachers talk to you like you trash. And when you say something back, they call the police or they kick you out. When you say something, it automatically don't matter. That's why I really don't trust schools.
I love English. I love writing. I want to be a poet. In one of my classes, there are 3 teachers. I was going out with a girl at the time, and I kissed her goodbye and I went into class, and I sat down. And this girl turns around and looks at me and asks me about my sexual preference. She asked me, "Are you gay?" And I told her, "Yeah, I think so." And then my teacher looks at me and says, "Why would you do that? Why would you be gay?" And I looked at him like, I thought he was playing around, but then my other teacher jumped in and says, "Yeah, that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that." And then I told him, this is how I felt. This is what I wanted to do. This is how I wanted to be. And they just kept telling me how wrong it was to be how I was. But I was barely coming out, and I felt like, everybody should know. And I thought everybody would be accepting, and I just lost a lot of respect for those teachers. I didn't go to school for a long time. I didn't go to that class for a long time because I felt so, bad about what they were saying to me. I wanted to commit suicide a couple years ago, and it was just getting really hard for me, socializing, and I didn't want to, I was really, sad, and I didn't want to do anything. And I felt like if I had talked to someone, I would be okay.
I was around 3 years old, and I used to have nightmares a lot, and I used to sleep with my mom and dad. I woke up to my dad yelling at my mom, screaming, "I'm done," pointing a gun at her. And then after that, I can't remember what they were arguing about, but they were just yelling at each other, and he took off his wedding ring and threw it on the bed. And next thing I can remember is him walking out. Ever since that night when he pulled that gun out, I have nightmares a lot, but as I've gotten older, I've learned how to control them better, or just deal with them. I wouldn't say control, more like manage. I used to love school. Like when I was at McNair Elementary, I liked it, and when I was at Vanguard, I liked it there as well. But Dominguez, one of my counselors, she said she looked at my file, and when she looked at it, she said, "Oh, I'm not even going to deal with this student. Kids encounter like numbers. If you're a number, and people more than likely aren't going to want to deal with you." If it wasn't for Mr. Curry, probably wouldn't even go to class anymore. Mr. Curry, he's just the type of person where he's actually gotten to know every single one of his students. I said I'm worried about a lot, and my brother, my family, and stuff, and situations I've been in, and he just sat down and talked to me. Like, never had somebody just random come into your life and just actually sit down and talk to you about your problems. Like, I think if teachers were more like Mr. Curry, students would care about their education. You would have a school that actually seemed like a real school.
I've been through rough situations. Before my mom got pregnant with me and after she gave birth to me, my mom was doing drugs. And my dad was beating us. He had socked my mom in the stomach while she was pregnant with my little sister. And then he was going to punch her again. And that's where I stepped in and he punched me. And then one day he came home drunk. He just went completely berserk, and I panicked and I called 911. And that's where we were taken from our parents. Me seeing people get shot in my own neighborhood, everywhere I live, it's traumatizing. When I'm walking from home to school, or I'm walking to school, I'm gonna have to be alert 24/7 because you never know. Someone's gonna drive by and try to shoot you. I've been living at the school for 2 months. That's how bad the school is. You can't even notice that a student is living at the school. And where I was living was on the school roof above the cafeteria. I used 4 carpets. I put one to cover for the wind and the cold. And then I used one for where I would lay down, and then one for a pillow. I want to figure out a way for the teachers to understand the students. I have flashbacks of what has happened to me when I was a kid. It either makes me mad or makes me sad, or just like whether to put my head down or just want to leave the classroom. And that's why a lot of students do that, because it's either they've been through something and that they don't want to open their mouths. Everyone has their different experiences. Everyone's not built the same. We don't know what's going on in their houses. They're just so stuck. They trying to change, but they can't. Because when they go home, it's negative. They go to school, it's negative. They're out on the streets, it's negative. It's like, where's the positive part in their lives? There isn't. I have a peaceful place. And this peaceful place is when I'm in the mountains and I'm looking up in the stars. I would love to see my school as my peaceful place, where I could be feeling safe, calm. I don't have to worry about anything else. Trauma does affect students. I want to make my school better because I want my kids to go there. And I want my kids to feel safe in that environment.